800-859-0957.
What is happening, mediocre people of YouTube? I gotta get you guys going before I even attempt to drive off here, because Michigan has become a who the fuck is this guy? Completely hands-free state. I mean, they don't want you looking at your cell phone even, and it don't matter because this is a work truck. This is an older vehicle. Who the fuck is this guy sitting here, I wonder? So I got to get you guys rolling before I even do anything, because if they even see you looking at your cell phone, they will pull you over for distracted driving. So anyway, what I'm here to talk about today is jazz guitar, or jazz musicians, for example. You know, what do they say about jazz and classical and whatnot? Basically, if you ain't got the chops, you can always go play in a rock band, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. It takes a lot to become a talented jazz guitar player or a talented classical guitar player. It's not you or I. Now, I know a lot about classical guitar because I'm always being a Randy Rhoads fan. So that took me into jazz guitar, which I was in jazz guitar as a young kid, and I wasn't very interested because I wanted to play, Suicide Solution and everything else. So that was when I was taking musical theory classes, and I think it was a kind of a combination of musical theory and jazz guitar or something like that. So you know who used to be great for that was God, I can't think of his channel. His name is Jay. Elmo B knows who I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure he's dead. That's what somebody said, that he died. Man, I'm smoking this cigarette. I'm not even supposed to be smoking this. I was back to the vape. Just a habit, man. I lit it up. Do you believe that shit? I haven't even smoked a cigarette today. This is the first cigarette I've smoked today. I've been vaping all day long. I didn't even realize I lit it up. That's crazy, man. It's a whole lifestyle change. Trying to quit smoking or trying to go to the vape or whatever. It's a totally different. You got to change your. You've been smoking as long as I have. You got to change your total lifestyle. Anyway, the guy I'm thinking of is Jay. I can't remember what his channel was, but Jay knew about classical and jazz guitar, and he knew, like, I can talk all that stuff, with a major third and all that, with a suspended, blah, blah. I can talk all that stuff if I want to. I'm rusty on it for sure, but I know that stuff. So I used to have a lot of fun with Jay because Jay really knew his stuff when it came to jazz guitar, and he would do a live stream or whatever, and he would say, hey, what chord is this, and is it the minor or the major or whatnot, and I would always try to answer correctly because most people couldn't answer the questions that he was putting out there, and some of them I would get right. The other ones, I can remember getting other ones wrong, but it was because I said it was the minor and it was a major. So yeah, anyway, Jay could play, man. Jay could play, and what I mean by that is, we all play, rock and roll guitar. There's a lot of fucking rock players and all that, but professional guitar players, professional musicians that play like classical and jazz guitar, they don't even consider us actual guitar players. You know what I mean? They don't even consider us musicians at all. They just think we're fucking complete idiots. And by their standards, we are. Because their standards are like, their bar is way up here, okay? Where our bar is, you want to sound like Eddie Van Halen or something, that's your bar. Their bar way up here. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that today, and kind of how to approach that stuff if you're getting into it. You know, if you get into classical guitar or jazz guitar, and I know I keep saying the two, and they're two different things, but they're just as complicated. You could talk to somebody like Caesar at Caesar's All Guitar. He's an educated guitar player. He'll tell you, he can talk about what I'm talking about right now, that where, you know, they don't even consider us musicians at all. And Caesar went to, you know, he's an educated guitar. He went to school to play guitar, so he knows what I'm talking about. These guys do not pull punches, man. They do not pull punches. They know their shit. They sight read music, you know, where, like, do I read music? Yes, I do. Am I rusty as fuck? Yes, I am. Was I ever fluent as a sight reading music? I wouldn't say I was fluent, but I picked it up because I picked it up as a young kid. So when you're a young kid, you know, your brain just absorbs everything. So I've always kind of carried it with me. So I can read music, but I'm not real good at it. I don't use tablatures either, though. You know, I just, there was a time when I used tablature, but, you know, to be honest with you, using tablature makes playing guitar so much harder. You know, you just really, I mean, if you can take lessons from somebody or take lessons off of YouTube and just hear the note, it's much easier than trying to figure it out in tablature. Just find the note, and then once you find the note, you'll kind of know where you're at, you know. And I know that to some of you that sounds a lot easier said than done, but it's really not. You know, it's really not. It's not easier said than done. You just need to stop letting people make guitar so complicated for you, because it is a complicated instrument on its own, but it doesn't need to be. You know, you need to know your notes. You know, you need to be able to hear a note and repeat it on your guitar. You know, so if I play a note, you need to be able to play that note, you know, right away. And once you get to that point where somebody plays a note and you can play the same note, immediately following them up and just go back and forth. Like, that's a great exercise. If you and a buddy play guitar, just have him play a note, you play a note, you know what I mean? Just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's a fantastic exercise for getting your ear adjusted for, you know, hearing the notes for what they are. And once you hear the notes, you kind of know where you are. Now, when it comes to like classical guitar and jazz guitar, you know, some of that stuff gets really, man, I mean, people think, oh yeah, that's just, you know, that stuff is difficult, man. I never thought in a million years that these words would come out of my mouth. These two words, Steely Dan. I never thought that name would come out of my mouth. But that was until Bert Cocaine was showing some chords on the song Peg. And this is several years ago now. But he was showing the chords to Peg, and I was like, whoa. It was, I don't remember what the chords were, but they were kind of difficult to grab. I don't remember what, I know there was something difficult about grabbing those chords and being able to fret them appropriately. And that's reach that level, you know, you're supposed to know, you know, certain things, and if you don't, then, you know, you're an idiot. They don't need you. And that's where years ago, Will Galvin did a lesson with God, I can't remember her name either at the moment, but she was a bass player. She was more known for her bass playing than her guitar playing. But she's a professional musician, and he had actually bought a couple of books, and because he had asked, he wanted to do a lesson with her, and I guess she had told him, well, first you need to buy a couple of my books and know this stuff, and then we can do the lesson, which he did, apparently. That's what he said. And when he took the lesson, he rolled the camera, you know, so that he could watch the lesson again if need be, because he was wanting to learn some jazz guitar. And man, she blew up on him and just let him have it, and just like basically told him, listen, this isn't for you. You're retarded, you know. Basically, that's what she was a real bitch about it, which she didn't need to be. But that's how those people are. They're very snobby. Like when you talk about the cork sniffers, of like all the cork sniffers and tube amplifier people and whatnot. That's how these jazz people are. They're very snobby, a lot of them. That, like I say, they won't even give you a time of day a lot of times. And she certainly did not give him the time of day. She actually chewed him out and made him. I mean, that would. He's a grown man, so I mean he could take it, you know. But if that was a young kid, man, that'd be a pretty shitty thing to do. To chew his ass like that. You know, you don't want to inspire somebody to put the instrument down. You want to inspire them to pick it up, you know. But in their world, there's certain people who are not even worthy of picking up the instrument, and that's their world, you know. Like for example, most all rock guitarists, they don't even deserve to be able to pick up the instrument in the first place. That's just how these people feel about it. Like I said, they are not playing around. They are professional musicians. In the end, it's like, well, you gotta understand this too. They're all broke as fuck. So maybe that's maybe they have some reason to be pissed off and angry and act the way they do, because they're all broke as fuck. They're incredible musicians, but they're broke as fuck, you know. Whereas, you know, Eddie Van Halen, I mean, how many millions and millions of dollars did that guy make, you know, playing what they would consider absolute garbage for a living, you know. So I guess you know, if you want to give them some leniency, I guess that would be the leniency, because, you know, that's probably how they look at it. Like, look at this guy doesn't even know how to play the guitar, and he goes out and makes millions and millions of dollars, and here I am studying for the last 30 years and playing in the back of the room, which that's where the guitarists are, in that kind of setting. They're, you know, you got horns and everything else, and then there's the guitar player in the back of the room, hidden somewhere, because in reality, all the horn players and everything don't even consider the guitar an instrument either. It's a weird world to be in, and I've been exposed to it a few times. Once in a recording, what the hell's going on up here? Once I was exposed to it in a recording situation. It was in studio. They had about 6 horn players and some strings, and they were recording something. And I got to sit and watch the process, and it's pretty amazing, man. I mean, they are on it, and they are not screwing around. These are not the type of people that are going to move into your studio for the next month and write their album. They already know what they're going to play. they get in their first take. That's it. There is no second take. If the first take didn't make it, the entire fucking band's probably fired, you know, because they're supposed to know it. And some of these conductors can be pricks too. So what got me thinking about this stuff was I had just watched the movie Whiplash, which is a great movie from about 10 years ago now. It's a movie about drumming, and I was watching that the other day, and I was thinking about actually I was thinking about Jay. I was thinking about him because that's, from what I heard, he died, and he was involved in the whole YouTube community back in the days of Galvin and Ed Dana and Bruce and everybody that was involved back in the Tonewood Wars and all that. Jay was around all the time, and like I said, that dude could play, man. He wasn't messing around. But I heard he died. I don't know if it was related to alcoholism or what it was, and if it wasn't related to alcoholism, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. But it seems to me that it was somehow related to alcoholism or substance abuse of some sort. And if that is the case, what a shame. You know, I hate hearing that. You know, this is Detroit here. You just got to push your way in because no one is letting you in. They closed the lane down here, so it must be an accident or something. But in Detroit, no one's letting you in. So you just got to push your way in and then give them the wave anyway so that they don't shoot you on top of it. It's kind of, that's just kind of the Detroit way. See, back to the vape pen. I love it. It's satisfying. It's just a matter of making this the habit instead of lighting the cigarette. Like I said, I just lit that cigarette a few minutes ago. I didn't even realize I lit it. But I need to stop carrying cigarettes with me is what I need to do. Until I stop rolling and carrying cigarettes, I'm not going to quit smoking them. I just need to, you know, get past the fear of, is this going to satisfy me? Because I'll tell you right now, this is way more satisfying. I had a nicotine buzz for the first time in years off of this. It's heavy duty, and I get the highest nicotine volume I can get, of course, because I'm like that. But anyway, but that's really what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, was just, you know, there's other avenues you can go with the guitar, and I've done the classical thing. I'm really rusty on my classical stuff because I haven't done it in a long time, but I think I'm going to get back into it a little bit more, if only for the sake of relearning how to appropriately fret certain chords and whatnot, because like I say, if you play rock, if you are into playing classical guitar or jazz guitar and you end up playing rock guitar for a long time, you get away with a lot of sloppy shit playing rock guitar, especially if you're playing it with distortion and all that other stuff. So yeah, I think I'm going to brush up on my clean stuff for a little bit. In the meantime, I promised Wally in the box that I was going to review those Charvels, and which I intend to do. And I was going to I'm going to review them both at the same time because they're the same guitar basically, for all intents and purposes. The only difference is one has a tone and the other one just has a master volume. Is there a difference in sound? Yes, there is a slight difference in tone with those two guitars, because one has, even though I keep the tone pot dimed all the way, there is a slight, what is going on here? Is this exit closed? No, the exit's not closed. Oh, I see, they're putting up a new sign. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, there is a slight difference in tone because of that tone pot, which I may just disconnect, because I don't use the tone pot, and I don't see myself using the tone pots ever. Really, all I need on my guitar is a master volume. I really have no need for tone. In fact, if I have a three-way switch, I would rather have just 2 master volumes instead of a master volume and a tone. And the reason for that is because to have 2 volumes is a volume for each pickup, and really the only reason for that is because that way I can kill my neck pickup or kill my bridge pickup and use the 3-way as a kill switch, you know, so you can do the ba 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 stuff. So yeah, otherwise I just have a single master volume on everything. And like Scott Grove, he didn't even have that. He just has, you know, he uses a volume pedal for that stuff. So anyway, that's what I got for you. I hope you enjoyed it thoroughly. Till next time, peace out.